Support for Here and Now comes from BetterHelp, committed to supporting mental health through therapy. Clients are matched with one of 25,000 therapists and can communicate via video, chat, or phone at betterhelp.com/public.
The HBO corporate drama industry is back with a new season this weekend.
Well, guys, it's great to have you aboard.
But no, this is not a streaming segment. We're going to talk about HBO's parent company, Warner Brothers Discovery. Bad news this week. The company wrote down or depreciated the value of its cable TV companies as viewers keep ditching cable for streaming services. NPR Media correspondent David Folkenflik is on the line. Hey, David.
Hey, how are you?
I'm well, maybe better than Warner Brothers Discovery. It owns old school cable channels, CNN and TNT. First, what is a write-down? Seems like kind of a confessional where corporations have to actually tell the truth to their investors.
Well, you know the saying, I feel like $1 million? I think right about now, David Zaslav, the head of Warner Brothers Discovery, and the company is feeling about 2/3 of that. They wrote off $9 billion in a day saying, hey, our TV channels, our cable channels just aren't worth what they were. And so goodbye. We no longer are pretending to our investors that we're worth that. They're resetting expectations, basically, so that they'll take a hit now and hope not to be punished for it repeatedly later.
Yeah. Well, Warner Brothers Discovery is in the middle, of several challenges. One is what CNN calls a very public breakup turn legal battle with the NBA. They just lost NBA game rights after 4 decades. What happened?
Well, the two things. Right now, Warner Brothers Discovery is laboring under a ton of debt, and we can talk about why that is for a minute. But when they made the effort to bid, it seemed to me that they tried to bid enough to come into a decent second place. That is, this is actually distributed among a number of broadcasters, but Amazon swept in and said, look, we can give you a ton more money. I mean, after all, it is Amazon, right? Yeah. And not only that, we can promote you on our football broadcasts or streaming
because they're doing live NFL. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Sure. And, Warner Bros. Discovery has none of that. They don't have Amazon gazillions of dollars, and they don't have that extra platform to promote it on. So the NBA said, this is a better template for us for the future. We're going to do, a pact with them that goes, I believe, 11 years. This is what they see as building a strong foundation, not just in broadcast and in cable, but in streaming as well.
So for sports fans, right, they're going to go to a streaming platform for the NBA, to Amazon, as well as for some NFL
as well
football.
As ESPN and ABC other places, right?
I mean, what does all this tell us more broadly about where television is headed, where the money is, where the preferred shows will be?
Well, look, there's just a ton of slashing going on in terms of viewerships are going down. People are backing far away from the outmoded cable costs. And yet, a little bit like print subscribers for newspapers, there's a lot of money still coming in to cable providers, even at a time at which all these companies are having to decide how to create streaming alternatives to make sure they capture new generations of viewers as people fade away. So they've got to balance taking the money that exists now with building for the future. Most of these streaming services are not hugely profitable. Netflix obviously is, some others are, but for the older legacy media companies, they're having to build from the ground up and scrambling to catch up, often at a much smaller scale. And so what you're seeing is that I think there's going to be even stronger pools of winners and losers, and that television, these ancillary cable channels like TBS, like Discovery itself, Netflix is getting into the reality show business, and it's going to do fine with that. These things are very threatened as time moves on.
Yeah. So as we see at the corporate side, many of these companies with legacy cable TV channels, right? They've got this financial hole. They're trying to make money streaming and fill that hole with the streaming money. What does all this mean for me, the viewer?
Right. For us, looking at David Zaslav, you'd say what he did in combining Warner Brothers and Discovery was disastrous. For us, we already see short-term effects as he's trying to pay off the debt and keep his head above water. So, for example, a lot of Comedy Central stuff has vanished online that you could stream, like Key and Peele, The Daily Show, whatever. That stuff is gone if you're looking for it online to look at the views. Similarly, MTV stuff has vanished as well. Those are not Warner Brothers properties, but it's an example of costs that happen. And you're going to see a lot of these shows licensed to the Netflixes of the world because they're going to desperately try to make money in the now, even as they're cannibalizing their future. I think we'll see a lot of diminution of options ahead.
David Volkenflick is NPR media correspondent. David, thank you.
You bet.